Hello, I'm Kate, this is Ollie, and I'm going to demonstrate to you two-part silicone gel using the Principality gun, which I think is much better than third degree. Personally, we sell both, so if you prefer third degree, but a lot of people are a bit unsure as to why you'd spend extra money to get the gun, and ultimately, long term, it's going to save you a lot of money. And the reason for that is, anyone who's bought third degree will know that once you've opened the pots, and no matter how careful you are, they're off. They've cross-contaminated already, because with the two-part gels, you mix part A with part B, and then it sets, and that's how it works. However, once you've opened the jars, they will cross-contaminate, so the jars are never going to be safe to open in 6 months' time. However, with the gun, it comes, here's your range of colours. So again, you get huge versatility. You get dark scar, vein blue, dark red, fresh scar, aged scar, neutral tone, warm tone, dark olive and dark brown. So you get a massive range of colours. And when you buy it, you get it it comes with the capsule and I think 10 spare nozzles. And the way it works, let me just show you how easy it is. You get your gun, you put your nozzle in, close it, you close it down, it clicks in. Now that will never go off. That's not touching, part A never touches part B till it gets to this nozzle. Let me just hold that there. So you've got part A and part B and it mixes in this nozzle, and that's why the nozzles are disposable, because that's the only bit where it mixes. So these will last for years because they're basically not contaminated. When you pump the gun, what it does, it mixes equal amounts of part A with part B as it goes down the nozzle. So you can see that's going down. If I hold that nearer the black, you might get a better picture, Paul. You can see as the silicone goes down, it's mixing together brilliantly. So if we take Ollie's hand here, just keep your hand level for a second. You don't want to work where there's hair. If they've got hair on their arms and you're trying to do this, I'd try and shave it off. Ollie's got hardly any hair on his hands, that's why I'm using it. It will work on the face. It works any way you like, it's perfectly safe. And then all you do, a bit like ice in a cake, you squirt on. I'll just tilt that to the camera so Paul can see. Just tilt on, you just squirt on a little section. Now you can see it's sort of beginning to run. That's because it's quite warm in here, and silicone will always self-level. So if we just keep it level for now, that will start to go off. That will start to set. Now as it sets, this is where you need to sort of play around a bit. Just got some palette lights here. You just, I'll show this to the camera in a second. I'm just pulling my edges away, blending them down. Yeah. Again, all a bit like spreading butter. You want to get it off the skin as you go. So if we tilt that down now, it's beginning to set, so we've got a bit of, let me just see if that's being seen. Okay, so you're just getting a bit of time there. Now this is different to the other systems in that you don't dry it with a hairdryer. The amount of times I've seen people in makeup rooms standing there with a hairdryer trying to dry this, because that's how third degree works. This is not third degree, it's better. It starts to set as we're going. That's beginning to go now. Now I know that from experience, but if I push the gun up, it's probably still coming out of the gun, but it's starting to get a bit harder. It is warm in here, so it will take a little bit longer. But you've still got some working time before that will set solid. Give that 5 minutes and nothing will come out of that gun. So the next time I use it, I just break that nozzle off and put a new one in. But that is never contaminated, so I know I've got that forever. So as that starts to set, I'm just going to, now it's got a bit of tension to it, I'm going to do a slice down the middle, just like that. You can see it's starting to go a bit chewing gummy, which is exactly what I want. So if we tilt that up, you can see like a cut, and you wait for it to just begin to tack up, which you can see it already has. And the way you set this particular one is you powder it to death, and then it carries on, so very lightly, a bit like how you'd powder a bald man's head. You just literally flick the powder on, so it's literally drowned in it. Just gently, because if it's still a bit tacky, it will stick to your powder puff. But it's got a malleability to it inside that never goes, which means that if you're doing it on an elbow or anywhere that's got a bend, this will bend with it, unlike third degree. So you never have a problem with it. So that's just beginning to set. So I'm just gently gonna... I've made some sort of blob there, but we can disguise that with a bit of blood. Now, the only sort of maintenance work with these things, they're really quite durable because it's silicone, is as the day goes on it will start to sweat, so you need to anti-shine it now and then, but you can see that that's not too shiny. And if I just go in now with a little bit of my blood, which is here, I've got the my favourite Dried Blood Dark by Makeup. If I hold that there, but you know, any blood you like is fine. And again, you can use anything on silicone. You can colour it with whatever you like. But if I just fill that up, with my dried blood, there, and I'm going to just add a little bit of redness, and I'm going to use my Skin Illustrator FX palette. Again, it's bog standard in the industry, so I'm just going to pour a little bit of IPA on, and a tiny bit of blood tone. Particularly where I've put that sort of, I've put a white blob on there, I'm not quite sure, I think that's just a lump of powder. Yeah, I've got rid of that now. Just to give it a slightly sort of scarred look. And to put some blood tone back in. You know, you could always add one of those lovely tattoo bruises. And if I just go in ever so slightly again with the dried blood, right in the where the slit is. If you can hold that right up there, Ollie. You can see you've got lovely 3D, you've got no edges. Any shine, again, I can't see any shine, I'm just looking at the monitor, I can't see any excess shine there. But if you do have any, actually I've just caught a little bit there, just tilt around there. Just comes off. Only maintenance you need all day is a little bit of anti-shine. Or powder if you prefer. Just to disguise this even further, it's always good. Diffuse the lines, so I'm just emphasising, and I've gone too strongly there. Take that down a bit. The vein colour. Just bit of IPA just to clean that up. I've got a bit strong with my blues. I'm just taking that down a bit. You can see nothing's a problem if you make a mistake like I just have. It's very easy to pull it back. But can you see how having the line going that way, while your prosthetic scar has gone that way, it just helps to sort of break it up. And you could do the same with bones. You know, the line of the bones coming through, you've got a bone coming through there to highlight it. And it just means that it makes it look more like it belongs to the... Yep. This company, Principality, almost always also make this amazing stuff, which is their silly glass, small shards, terribly cheap, really good fun. And what you can do with this stuff, James, if you can hold your other hand out, just like that. Thank you. Put that down. You can break it into tiny little bits of glass, fragments. And if you're really clever, you can drop it into your scar. So it just looks like they've had a glass injury. And that will usually stick to your blood. So again, really good fun, very easy to use. Or great, even if you want to frame it up next to shot, so it's just there. So that's how he's fallen and managed to gash his hand.